Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have updates to share about Donald Trump's coup clown. So first, news about America's defendant, Rudy Giuliani. I shared last week, Giuliani is facing a contempt charge for continuing to defame Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. So Giuliani was caught once again repeating these same lies about Freeman and Moss, the same ones that landed him in court to begin with, that resulted in a $148 million judgment against him. So Moss and Freeman asked the court to hold Giuliani in contempt and to hit him with sanctions because he is in violation of the court's injunction. The court had imposed an injunction which strictly prohibits him from repeating these same defamatory lies. So this was, months ago, maybe even like a year ago, that he signed that agreement and said, okay, yes, I will never again repeat these defamatory statements against them. So he's in direct violation of that agreement. Well, the judge agreed to review the matter. She gave Giuliani until last Monday, December 2nd, to file his response and explain why he shouldn't be sanctioned. Well, Giuliani just blew right past that deadline. Instead, he filed a request for a 30-day continuance on Wednesday of last week. In his request, Giuliani told U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell, quote, "I have spoken to 4 attorneys and each attorney has declined to handle this matter because they believe your honor is unreasonable and biased about Donald Trump related matters and ideological rather than logical. One said it was a foregone conclusion and a no-win proposition. Among other numerous reasons, your handling of the J6 cases is considered by many to be the most unnecessarily harsh." I suspect that these attorneys don't want to be honest with Giuliani and just say, like, yeah, you keep screwing up, you keep doing what you're not supposed to do, you keep messing where you ought to be. I mean, seriously, the guy can't get it together. It's like, just shut up. Just keep your mouth shut. I'm sure that's what these attorneys want to tell him, but they can't, right? Because they got to stay in his good graces, because they got to stay in Trump's good graces. So anyway, Giuliani went on to say he has had no problem finding attorneys to represent him in other cases, but they refuse to take on this matter. That is not exactly true. As you guys know, I've shared with you before how he keeps losing attorneys. He keeps having to take on new suckers that he doesn't intend to pay and that he doesn't intend to listen to. He also blamed the Thanksgiving holiday for his inability to find an attorney. So as you can imagine, Giuliani's arguments just fell flat. They did not sway the judge. She denied his 30-day extension request. And she reminded him that his failure to respond meant that he essentially conceded to everything that Moss and Freeman wanted. So Judge Howell gave Giuliani until last Friday, 2 p.m., to show cause why their motion shouldn't be granted and conceded. And she ordered him to appear at a hearing on December 12th, so this Thursday. So we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, Giuliani is facing another contempt charge. This is in another court, but it's in a related matter. So after Giuliani was hit with that massive judgment, as you all know, he filed for bankruptcy. He has since dropped the bankruptcy claim because they were forcing him to actually, come to court and show them just cause and to show evidence and, give up the goods, and he didn't want to do that. So the judge presiding over that case is still managing the transfer of Giuliani's property. So all of his cash, all of his, property over to Freeman and Moss. I've also shared with you many times that Giuliani has just continually stonewalled. He keeps playing games. So for example, he finally gave these 2 women a Mercedes that he owns, but he didn't give them the title to the vehicle and he didn't give them the keys. In addition, he has refused to turn over discovery items. So this includes information about his Florida condo, which is in contention. He's trying to hold on to it. He's claiming, no, this is my primary residence, which, a lot of people have pointed out that's pretty much BS. So Moss and Freeman told the judge, which is Louis Lyman, quote, severe discovery sanctions are warranted given Mr. Giuliani's willful flouting of multiple orders of this court, his history of refusing to participate in discovery, even in the face of possible sanctions, and his conscious disregard of the inevitable consequence of his conduct. They also said, quote, as recently as this week, Mr. Giuliani has expressed a refusal to provide plaintiffs even with a list of the email addresses and social media handles he uses to communicate. This pattern of noncompliance warrants sanctions. And so they mentioned that financial penalties aren't going to be sufficient. I mean, given how much he already owes that he can't even afford, right? Obviously, it doesn't matter. You can hit him with another 100 million. He can't pay it. So they basically hinted that, maybe jail time might be in order, although they didn't come right out and say it. But their attorney wrote that the judge should, quote, impose whatever coercive sanction it deems appropriate in its expertise. So Judge Lyman, who is a Trump appointee, by the way, he immediately scheduled a contempt hearing in that part of the case. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen until next year. So I will keep an eye on all of this. I'll let you know how it all shakes out. I also have a quick update about Trump's Georgia RICO case and his co-defendant, Kenneth Chesebro, or Chesebro. I guess it's Chesebro. Anyway, Chesebro, as you guys all know, he took a plea deal in that case for the charge of conspiracy to commit false or filing false documents. He was given very favorable terms in exchange for his cooperation in the investigation. Well, he is now asking the court to invalidate his plea agreement because back in September, the judge had tossed that charge. The judge had said that charging someone for filing certain documents with a federal court would, quote, enable a state to constrict the scope of materials assessed by a federal court and impair the administration of justice in that tribunal to police its own proceedings. Now, unfortunately, the court might have to side with Chesebro on this. So the DA's office would then be back to square one with him, and her case is already up in the air, as you might know, at the moment, because she, as you all know, got caught. She was having a personal relationship with one of the prosecutors she brought on board to handle this case. Shouldn't make a difference, right? I mean, the facts are the facts. Either crimes were committed, either these people are guilty or they're not. But the appeals court hasn't yet ruled on whether or not her relationship with the prosecutor may have posed a conflict of interest. So I'll let you know what happens with that as well. Yeah, I mean, there has to be some justice here. It seems like the only person that's taken it in the shorts is Rudy Giuliani, which is good, but yeah, there has to be more accountability. Otherwise, these people are just going to run roughshod over the entire justice system these next 4 years. I mean, they're going to try anyway. And I can only imagine how many charges will come out of this next Trump administration if Democrats are able to gain control again, but we'll see. All right, I will let you all know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.